Hello, my beautiful light brights. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Neon Noire. I'm a half Italian, half Canadian drag queen living in Belgium. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Today we are playing my favorite game, FAB or Drab, where we rate the looks of Canada's Drag Race, Season 4, Episode 4, and let you know if they are fab and fabulous or drab and awful. So without further ado, let's get into it. This week's runway theme is Out of the Closet, where the queens actually had to create their own looks in the workroom using found materials from Brad's closet. That means all of these looks were made in like 24 hours. Let's see what the girls got up to. First up, it's Kitten Kaboodle, and Kitten Kaboodle is giving us this pink and gold outfit. She used some gold sequins. She used a pink puffer jacket to create this full ensemble. I'm not sure. First, you can definitely tell that this queen knows how to sew because the whole garment is actually really difficult. She's using a bunch of different materials with different amounts of stretch and pull to them and creating you this very unique, maybe avant-garde sort of outfit. She's got like this poofy dress part with a gold top and a poof hood. It is very mix and match eleganza. But the thing is I find that the items really contrast against each other. They just don't flow as one individual idea and one individual look. It definitely looks like she took a couple garments and put them together. The thing is they are well put together. You can definitely tell that this is one queen who knows how to sew. In fact, I've actually called her once to make a costume for me. Unfortunately, she still lives in Canada and I live here, so it was a little complicated, so we never got it on. But that's a side note, that's a story for another day. Anyway, so all in all, the look is well made, well constructed, and original. But is it a fab? And to me, no mama, no it's not. I think that it's got too many ideas. She was just trying to show all of her sewing skills without thinking of the bigger picture. So for me, it is definitely a drab. Sorry, babe. Next up, it's Venus. And Venus is coming in this plaid grunge look. She has it paired with a little bob and got safety pins and studs all over. This is the complete opposite of Miss Kitten Kaboodle. Clearly Venus does not know how to sew. There is probably not even one hem, not one seam. It is tacked together with a bunch of safety pins. But the one thing that Venus definitely does have is an idea, a look, and a vibe, honey. She was like, I can't sew. I'm going to take these safety pins and turn them into the grunge fantasy, and I am going to serve you a look. She's also very lucky that she has a great body and can really literally wear anything and sell it down the runway. So, all in all, does it work? Well, I think she gave you a vibe, she gave you a moment, and I will say that despite her not being able to sew, I think it is good enough to pass. So for me, it is a soft fab. Next up is Aimee Yonce Shennel, and she is giving you bath towel realness. Are we saying first time in drag, honey? She's coming in this two-piece bath towel couture question mark moment. She's also got loofah stuck to her and even slippers as a headpiece. What was she thinking? This looks homemade as homemade it can be. I am not a sewing queen, but I can definitely do better than that. Maybe she was going for camp. Maybe she was going for it's so bad, it's good. But all in all, to me, it is just bad, honey. You can see that she tried to spruce it up a little bit with a bunch of appliques and glitters here and there. But the ultimate fail is that she went with a really cheap material. And when you only have a certain amount of time to work in a workroom, and when you only have a certain amount of material, go for the most expensive looking material because you could kind of get away with stuff. When you choose a cheap material, you better know what you're doing. You better be at the top of your game to take a cheap material and make it fabulous. but she didn't know what she was doing, and she took a cheap material, and that is why she failed, and that is why she's getting a drab. Next up is Melinda Verga, and Melinda Verga is coming in this like mix and match plaid outfit with a bunch of cutouts and some leather detailing. Honestly, I think it looks super cool. It is definitely giving me a little bit of Vivienne Westwood, a little bit of edge, a little bit of rock and roll, and I think that she's definitely creating a vibe. Melinda has been one of those queens whose fashion has been like questionable sometimes, but this look I can get behind. This look I would wear. That said, there are a few things I would change. First of all, those glasses do not go with this look. Those glasses look more like Lady Gaga as opposed to Vivienne Westwood. And also, can we talk about that shoe? That shoe also is like, honey. It is like a basic just heel. If you were gonna go with this rock and roll vibe, I would have loved a chunky platform or like a 60s wedge or something that's a little bit more rock and roll, maybe some studs on it to really give you that like no doubt fantasy, you know? Also her hair, it's like this basic ass bob. I would have loved it for her if she did like a mullet with it and or a mohawk. I think it would definitely create more of that rock and roll fantasy. And then I think she could have sold the garment a little bit better. So little tweaks, again, but styling tweaks, not garment tweaks. And because it is styling tweaks and not garment tweaks, I will say for Melinda Verga, it is gonna be actually a FAB. Next up is Kiki Coe, and Kiki Coe is coming in this red sequins eleganza with these pointy tips and these beautiful jewels. She then paired it with this little pussycat doll 60s wave wig, and she looks stunning from head to toe. Honestly, this looks like one of those outfits that wasn't made in 24 hours. This looks like an outfit that any queen would die to buy. Clearly, Kiki Coe knows how to use a sewing machine and knows good style. She is oozing eleganza from head to toe. There is not a single thing I would change. And honestly, I wouldn't have even thought of half of this. And that is why for Kiki Coe, it is definitely a FAB, mama. Next up is Nearah Nuff, and Nearah Nuff is coming in this attire which she calls airline. I don't know where she sees the airline, but it is a pink and purple ensemble. She's got her little airline hat, and she is rocking and selling it down the runway. The one thing about Nearah Nuff is she is suffering from the same thing that Venus is, where clearly they have a really strong concept and a really strong idea of where they wanted to go, but they don't necessarily have the sewing skills needed to necessarily pull it all together. That being said, you can see that Nearah definitely tried, she did. She gave you patterned sleeves, she gave you buckled shoulders, she's giving you little tootie skirt, and she paired it with a bunch of pink accessories, including thigh-high boots, glasses, and a hat. So, what I like and what I don't like. I like that she had an idea. I like that she paired it all with a cohesive color. The whole outfit made sense. The sewing skills were not there. We're gonna forgive her for that. Not every queen knows how to sew, but she has one too many elements going on. She's got a deep V with side cutout and a really tiny skirt. I think if she left the top the way it was, it would have been fine. Just giving us a little bit of a longer skirt, just so you don't see her butt and her boobs. I think that would have gone a long way to just like help this a little bit, and maybe a little underskirt as well to make it a little bit more poofy, go with it. But other than that, it's pretty good. So for Nearah Nuff, I'm gonna go with a soft, I said soft, FAB. Next up is Luna Dubois, and Luna Dubois is coming in with these yellow pants matched with this like little yellow jacket with a little bit of green and a little bit of pink. It definitely looks put together. It definitely has an idea, and might I say, it looks a little bit off the rack. Now, in any other challenge, off the rack would definitely be a shady thing to say, but when you are doing a sewing challenge, if you can get it to look as good as something you buy in stores, I say that's a win in my opinion. There are some crusty ass things that happen on these runways, and she definitely does not look crusty dusty. She looked put together, thought through. She paired it with this beautiful, elegant wig, which was a very smart move because they made the whole attire look that much more expensive. Is it the most innovative, best thing I've seen in the entire world? Hell no. Is she a seamstress sewer? Maybe. I mean, it was better than some other people, but it wasn't fantastic either. But for this challenge, for this time pressure, for everything that's going on, that is way more than good enough to get a FAB for me on this runway. So, FAB bummer. Next up, it's Aurora Matrix. And Aurora Matrix is coming out in this blue and yellow ensemble. She's wearing a sort of tie-dye blue top with this big blue flowy dress paired with this 60s finger wave hairstyle. She said she's giving you conservative chic. I don't know if I agree. I will say she looks put together, she looks good. I love it from the waist up. I think that the hair with this tie-dye outfit matches quite cute. The part where you kind of lose me a little bit is actually in the giant flowy dress. I find that it looks quite cheap in comparison to the rest of the outfit and is definitely giving you another vibe. If it was me, I would have probably lost the skirt and actually just made it a simple bodysuit and paired it with some like yellow thigh-high boots, and mama, you would have had a full entire look. All in all, it's kind of middle of the road. It doesn't really do anything for me. So I am gonna give it a soft drab. Oh, were you shocked? Yeah. Let me explain. The reason is probably better made than Venus or Nearah's, but it's not as exciting and not as fun and not as cool. So that's why it is like just one notch down for me. And that's why for Miss Aurora Matrix, it is definitely gonna have to be a drab. And next we have Denim, and she is giving you crochet on crochet on crochet. She is wearing a beige crochet dress with a netted blue thing on top of it. Her head is wrapped in crochet. She's definitely giving you babushka chic. As she rocks down the runway, she lets her arms go and her sleeves are flowing in the wind, giving you season 3 sleeves on sleeves on sleeves runway. It is quite smart. Have we seen some version of this done? Yes. Is it intelligent for this concept? Yes. I love that with Denim, she's always giving you something different than other queens. The other queens have tried to go high fashion. She went, I'm gonna give you camp, I'm gonna give you grandma, I'm gonna give you my own twist on things, and that is why we love Denim. Is it well made? I have no idea. Is it haute couture? Probably not. Do I love it? Yeah, actually. And that is why for Denim, I'm gonna have to go with FAB. So that is it for this week's runway. But more importantly, who had my drab of the week? Well, this week's drab of the week has to go to Aimee, Yonce, Shennel. Girl, this was a flop on a flop. It didn't look a couture. It didn't look put together. And clearly she struggled hard on this challenge. Sorry, babes. But enough about the negative. Let's talk about the positive. Who had my FAB of the week? Well, my FAB of the week has to go to Kiki Coe. That is right. Kiki Coe looked exceptional. She is the one queen that came out with a garment that looked right for any runway, let alone a sewing challenge runway. So congratulations, Miss Kiki Coe. So you guys, that is it for this week's episode. Do you agree or disagree with my thoughts? Well, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I do read all of them and try to reply. And while you're there, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to follow me on socials, my name is @MissNeonNoire on all social platforms. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.